Discipline is the foundation of all achievement. Many people spend their entire lives looking for shortcuts, ways to skip the hard work, avoid the grind, or get results without effort. But the real shortcut is not avoiding work. It is mastering discipline. Discipline allows you to take control of your actions, your choices, and ultimately your destiny. It is the secret ingredient that separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. Without discipline, talent is wasted, opportunities are lost, and potential remains unfulfilled. With it, even ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary things. The beauty of discipline is that it is not reserved for a select few. It is not a gift from birth, nor a trait that only some possess. Discipline is a skill, a habit, a practice. It can be learned, refined, and strengthened over time. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. To start, you simply need to begin. Every choice to act instead of procrastinate, to study instead of drift, to work instead of complain, strengthens your discipline. Every day becomes a building block in the construction of your success. Discipline also creates consistency, and consistency is what compounds results. A single act of effort is valuable, but repeated action is powerful. It is the small daily choices, waking up on time, reading a few pages, making that extra call, completing that task, that eventually lead to breakthroughs. Success rarely arrives overnight, but with discipline, you create a steady momentum that cannot be stopped. Each disciplined step builds upon the last, and before long, you will look back and realize that the shortcut you were searching for was the path of consistent, focused effort all along. Many people misunderstand discipline. They think it means living a life of restriction, denying themselves pleasure, or working relentlessly without pause. But true discipline is about freedom. The freedom to pursue your goals without being controlled by impulse, laziness, or distraction. It gives you the power to say no to what doesn't matter and yes to what will grow you. Discipline is the bridge between intention and action. It turns plans into results and dreams into reality. Without discipline, motivation becomes unreliable. There will be days when you feel energized, when everything seems easy and exciting. But there will also be days when you feel tired, frustrated, or uncertain. Motivation is like a spark. It flickers and fades. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady flame that carries you forward, even when you don't feel like it. It is what keeps you moving day after day through challenges and setbacks toward the life you desire. Ultimately, discipline is the key to personal responsibility. It teaches you that your life is the sum of your decisions, and each choice either moves you closer to success or further away from it. When you embrace discipline, you stop blaming circumstances, luck, or others for your results. You take ownership. You become the captain of your own ship. And in doing so, you unlock the real shortcut, the ability to shape your future through your own deliberate actions. Remember this, there are no real shortcuts to success. There are only smarter paths. And the smartest path is the disciplined path, the one where small, consistent actions build momentum, where focus replaces distraction, and where personal responsibility replaces excuses. Discipline is not the hard road. It is the road that leads straight to the results you want. It is the shortcut, the secret, and the most powerful tool you have. Master it, and you master your life. When most people think about success, they imagine some grand, sweeping gesture, a sudden windfall, a massive promotion, or a life-changing decision. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Success is not an event, it's a process. And the process is built on small, daily actions that compound over time. It's those little choices, repeated consistently, that create momentum and turn ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Think about planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, give it sunlight, and let nature do its work. Over time, the seed becomes a sapling, and the sapling grows into a tree. The growth is invisible in the early days, but the results are undeniable in the long term. The same principle applies to your life, your career, your health, and your relationships. The small, disciplined actions you take today are like watering your future. They may feel insignificant in the moment, but when compounded over weeks, months, and years, they create extraordinary results. The problem most people face is impatience. They plant a seed, and when it doesn't sprout overnight, they give up. They read a book once, expect wisdom to fall into their lap, and wonder why they are still struggling. They skip the small steps because they don't see immediate rewards. But the reality is, real growth is invisible until it reaches a tipping point. The magic happens in the quiet, consistent effort that others overlook. Small actions compound not only because of consistency, but also because they build confidence and momentum. When you take one small step today, you prove to yourself that progress is possible. When you take another tomorrow, and another the day after, you create a pattern. That pattern becomes a habit, and habits shape your identity. You don't just become someone who occasionally tries. You become someone who consistently achieves. The compounding effect is not only external in results, but internal in character. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine someone who wants to improve their health. They start by walking 10 minutes a day. It seems minor, almost laughable, but they stick with it. After a month, those 10 minutes become 20. After 3 months, they are jogging, eating better, and feeling stronger. The results don't come from one dramatic workout. They come from small, disciplined actions stacked day after day. The same applies to learning a skill, growing a business, or strengthening a relationship. Small efforts repeated consistently build a mountain over time. The key is not to wait for the perfect conditions or the perfect moment. The secret is to start with what you have, where you are, and with what little time you can commit today. A 5-minute read, one phone call, a single extra rep, or a small task completed. These are the seeds of success. They seem insignificant at the moment, but when compounded, they create results far beyond what most people imagine. Remember, compounding works whether you use it wisely or wastefully. The same small daily actions that can build wealth, health, and character can also build debt, bad habits, and regret. That's why the choice is yours. Every action matters. Every day counts. The ordinary decisions you make now are the extraordinary outcomes you will enjoy later. Success is not in the dramatic leaps. It's in the quiet, steady steps. Focus on small daily actions, practice them consistently, and watch as life begins to transform. The power of compounding is the hidden engine behind every great achievement. Those who understand it, embrace it, and apply it hold the true shortcut to lasting success. We live in a world that worships motivation. We listen to speakers, watch videos, read quotes, and think that if we just feel inspired, success will follow. But let me be honest with you. Motivation is fleeting. It's like a spark in the wind. It flares up, it excites you for a moment, but soon it dies out. It cannot carry you when life gets tough, when deadlines loom, when obstacles appear, or when the excitement of a new idea wears off. If you depend solely on motivation, you will find yourself running in circles, starting and stopping, full of promise one day and full of excuses the next. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is not flashy. It does not shout or demand attention, but it is the steady engine that keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Discipline is what allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. It is the bridge between goals and achievement, the consistent action that turns dreams into reality. Motivation may get you started, but discipline ensures you finish. Think about the most successful people you know. They don't rely on feeling like working every day. They have built habits, systems, and routines that carry them forward even on days when they don't feel like it. A writer may wake up at 5 in the morning, not because inspiration strikes, but because discipline dictates the practice of writing every day. An athlete trains not only when they feel motivated, but even when their body resists. A business person makes the calls, sends the emails, and completes the work, not waiting for a mood or a feeling. This is the power of discipline. It removes the question of, do I feel like it? And replaces it with, this is what I do. The truth is, motivation is an unreliable friend. It is emotional, unpredictable, and dependent on circumstances. Some days it will lift you to the clouds. Other days, it will abandon you completely. Discipline, however, does not depend on how you feel. It is a decision, a choice, a commitment to take action regardless of your emotional state. And once it becomes a habit, it frees you from the tyranny of moods and feelings. You no longer wait for the perfect moment. You create the perfect moment by showing up consistently. Discipline also creates momentum. When you take consistent action, even small steps, over time they build into something unstoppable. Motivation cannot do that because it cannot be relied upon consistently. One day of enthusiasm does not change your life. But one disciplined choice, repeated day after day, compounds like interest in a bank account. Soon, what once seemed difficult becomes easy. What once seemed impossible becomes routine. And the results you once chased will begin to appear naturally because you have built the engine that drives progress. Another key point is that discipline strengthens character. It teaches you to persevere, to endure, and to take responsibility for your own results. Motivation can inspire you to dream, but discipline teaches you to do. And in that doing, you find confidence, pride, and self-respect. You learn that your success is not a matter of luck, but the natural consequence of your daily actions. So remember this, if you want lasting results, you cannot rely on motivation alone. You must develop discipline. Start by creating small, consistent habits. Show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Commit to the practice, not the mood. Over time, the results will follow, and you will discover the most reliable and powerful ally you could ever have, the steady, unwavering power of discipline. Motivation fades, but discipline remains. It carries you when the spark dies. It builds your momentum when excitement wanes. And it guarantees that the life you dream of is not left to chance. It is earned one disciplined step at a time. Many people look at discipline and immediately think of limits, rules, and restrictions. They imagine a life where every choice is controlled, where pleasure is postponed indefinitely, and where freedom is sacrificed for the sake of responsibility. But the truth is exactly the opposite. Discipline is not a cage. It is the key that unlocks freedom. It is the foundation that allows you to live life on your own terms, without being a slave to your impulses, habits, or circumstances. When you are disciplined, you no longer react to every whim or distraction. Instead, you take control of your actions and your decisions. You create the structure in your life that enables you to focus on what truly matters, and that focus produces results. Without discipline, life is a constant battle between what you want in the moment and what you know is best in the long term. You are always at the mercy of your desires, and that is the very definition of limitation. Discipline, on the other hand, puts you in the driver's seat. It gives you the ability to steer your life where you want it to go. Consider the habits of successful people. They wake up early, plan their days, and dedicate time to personal growth, even when it is uncomfortable. These choices may seem restrictive at first, getting up before sunrise, saying no to distractions, prioritizing work over immediate pleasure. But over time, these disciplined actions create a life of incredible freedom. Financial freedom, time freedom, mental freedom. They are free because they have mastered themselves, their habits, and their routines. Freedom does not come from chaos or living without rules. It comes from mastery, and mastery is built on discipline. Discipline is also the shield that protects you from regret. When you practice self-control and make deliberate choices, You avoid the mistakes that come from impulsive decisions. You avoid the setbacks caused by procrastination, poor spending, or neglecting your health. Every disciplined choice is an investment in a future where you are free from unnecessary burdens. Every small act of consistency builds momentum, and momentum is the invisible force that allows you to accomplish more with less stress, more clarity, and more confidence. Many people fear discipline because it feels like they are giving up something, but in reality, they are gaining everything. You gain the freedom to pursue your dreams without constantly putting out fires. You gain the freedom to make choices based on strategy rather than emotion. You gain the freedom to live a life aligned with your values, priorities, and goals. The more disciplined you become, the fewer things control you, and the more control you have over life itself. Start small. Discipline does not require drastic changes overnight. It begins with small, deliberate actions. A commitment to showing up, to keeping promises to yourself, to doing what is necessary even when it is not easy. One disciplined step today leads to another tomorrow. Momentum grows. Confidence grows. And before long, you realize that the life you thought was full of limitations is actually wide open, filled with opportunities, and completely under your command. Discipline is not punishment, it is empowerment. It is not restriction, it is liberation. It is the foundation upon which you build your future, the invisible framework that allows your goals to become reality. Every time you choose discipline, you are choosing freedom, the freedom to create, to achieve, and to live life on your terms. And that, my friends, is the true shortcut to a life of fulfillment, purpose, and success. Regret is a heavy burden that many carry through life, often without realizing it. It doesn't come from failure alone, but more often from inaction. It comes from the things we didn't do, the chances we didn't take, the words we didn't speak, and the steps we didn't make toward our dreams. You see, life doesn't wait for anyone. Time moves forward whether we act or not, and the opportunities we ignore today are often the regrets we face tomorrow. The true antidote to regret is action. Discipline turns intentions into reality, and reality leaves no room for remorse. Every day, we are faced with choices, small choices, simple actions, decisions that seem insignificant at the moment. But those small choices, repeated consistently, determine the course of our lives. Will we take the call that could change our career? Will we write that email, make that investment, or speak that word of encouragement? Or will we delay, procrastinate, and hope the chance comes back again? Life rarely gives second chances, but discipline ensures that when opportunity appears, we are ready. Taking action today prevents the sorrow of what if tomorrow. Think about the moments you've hesitated in your own life. Maybe it was the time you avoided starting a project because it seemed too daunting. Maybe it was a conversation you postponed, a relationship you neglected, or a personal goal you left on the shelf for another day. Now reflect on how those moments felt months or years later. Did they haunt you? Did you think, if only I had done it? That's regret, pure and simple. But now imagine if you had taken action, even a small step. You might not have achieved perfection, but you would have built momentum. You would have been moving forward. And that movement is what separates those who live fully from those who live with what could have been weighing them down. The power of action lies in its simplicity. You don't have to climb the highest mountain in one leap. You just have to take the first step, and then the next, and then the one after that. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without action, even the best intentions and the greatest plans remain dormant, gathering dust in the corners of your mind. Action, fueled by discipline, brings dreams into the world of reality. It transforms potential into achievement. And the greatest gift it gives you is a life free from the chains of regret. Another truth about action is that it builds courage. Every time you choose to act instead of wait, you train yourself to face uncertainty and risk with confidence. You learn that mistakes are temporary, but hesitation can last a lifetime. Inaction is a silent thief. It robs your future while you wait for the perfect moment that never comes. But action empowers you. It fills you with pride, with self-respect, and with a sense that you are the author of your own story. So the next time you feel doubt, fear, or hesitation, remember this: the cost of doing nothing is far greater than the cost of trying. The regret of inaction is heavier than the struggle of effort. Discipline doesn't just produce results, it protects you from the silent torment of what if. It gives you the satisfaction of knowing that you moved when it mattered most, that you did not let opportunities slip away, that you honored your potential by taking action, no matter how small. Life is too short to be burdened with regret. Take the step, make the call, start the project, speak the word, and chase the goal. Every action you take today becomes a shield against the sorrow of tomorrow. Action is not just the path to success, it is the path to a life lived fully, a life without regret, and a life that leaves you proud of every choice you made and every step you dared to take. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, for the grand opportunity, for everything to line up just right. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll wait until I have more time, more resources, or more confidence. But the truth is, the perfect moment rarely comes. Waiting for it only delays your progress and steals your potential. The secret to achieving anything meaningful in life is to start small, start now, and build momentum one step at a time. Starting small doesn't mean you aim low or think small. It means you break your goals down into simple, manageable actions that you can actually take today. It's better to begin with one small action than to do nothing at all. A single step, repeated consistently, will eventually carry you further than 1,000 grand gestures done sporadically. Remember, progress compounds. Just like saving $1 a day grows into thousands over time, small disciplined actions accumulate to produce extraordinary results. Starting today is equally important. Don't let fear, doubt, or indecision rob you of your future. Every moment you delay is a lost opportunity to get closer to your dreams. The more you wait, the more you fall behind. Life rewards those who act, not those who plan endlessly without action. Even imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Take one small step today, write that first page, make that call, do that extra rep, learn that new skill, and you begin the journey that will transform your life. Starting small also reduces overwhelm. Big goals can feel intimidating and paralyzing. When you break them into tiny, manageable pieces, they become achievable. You start to build confidence, because every small success proves to yourself that you are capable. This is how discipline is formed, not through massive leaps, but through steady, daily choices that reinforce your commitment. Momentum is born from these small victories, and once momentum begins, it grows like a snowball rolling downhill, unstoppable and powerful. There's another hidden benefit of starting small, and starting today, it strengthens your character. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to give up when the results aren't immediate. But when you commit to even the smallest action consistently, you teach yourself patience, perseverance, and resilience. You learn to trust the process and to value progress over perfection. Over time, these habits shape your mind, your behavior, and ultimately your destiny. Many people overlook this simple truth. The journey of success is built on countless small steps, not one giant leap. You don't need to wait for a big break or perfect timing. You only need to take the step you can take right now. The key is consistency, not speed. Each small effort stacks on the previous one until you look back and realize that you have achieved more than you ever imagined. So, start today. Don't worry about doing everything at once. Focus on the next right action. Start small because small actions are easier to maintain and easier to repeat. And start today because the only time you truly have is this moment. The decisions you make and the actions you take today create the life you will live tomorrow. Don't delay. The shortcut to success is not in giant leaps or sudden trend transformations. It's in starting small, starting now, and never stopping.